Good evening, all of you. In the last session, we completed our discussion related to Amazon DynamoDB. We understood what is a SQL database and what is NoSQL database, when to go for SQL database and when to go for NoSQL database. Good. Today, we are starting with another important service in the AWS that is called Elastic Beanstalk. If you remember, in the demo sessions, we discussed about what is IaaS, what is PaaS, and what is SaaS. Did anybody remember? Infrastructure as service, platform as a service, software as a service. Now, AWS is providing what, guys? AWS is providing what? What kind of cloud service AWS is providing?
Infrastructure.
AWS is meant for infrastructure as a service. Azure is meant for Azure is platform as a service. Now, platform as a service. Can AWS provide platform as a service to run our applications?
Yes.
AWS meant for infrastructure as a service, but AWS not only providing the infrastructure, AWS is providing platform also as a service. PaaS. What is the advantage of platform as a service? They will provide you the platform to run your application. You just write the code and you use it to run. That's it. Platform will be available. You just write the code and you run it. So the infrastructure which is required to run your application will be provided by AWS. To provide platform as a service, AWS is using one service called Elastic Beanstalk. So before going to understand this Elastic Beanstalk, first let us see how to deploy one application, guys. How to deploy one. Now assume that I have one web application. How can we deploy this web application in the cloud platform? Can anyone tell me? How can we deploy the web application in the cloud platform?
Server.
So, I mean, is it easy task or we need to take some steps here?
You need to take steps.
We need to perform some steps here, right? If I want to deploy one web application in the cloud platform, so can we deploy the application just with one button click? If I click one button, my application will be deployed or my application will not be deployed?
Yes. Deploy.
Will not be deployed. If I just click one button, my application will not be deployed. What we need to do?
We have to set up to do
we need to follow some steps. We need to set up the environment to run our application or not.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now let's understand. I have one application. I want to deploy that application in the server using a cloud platform. For example, AWS. We all are using AWS. I want to run my application in the AWS cloud. What are the general steps that we need to follow to deploy our application in the AWS cloud? First of all, take the application code as a package. If that application is a standalone application, then you need to take it as a jar file. If that application is a web application, then we need to take it as a WAR file, right? Now, first we need to take the code as a jar or as a WAR. Jar or WAR are called as packaged files. Jar or WAR is called as packaged files. Source code, configuration, images, scripts, everything which is required to run the project will be available in that package, jar file or WAR file. Okay. Who is that man? Yeah, I'm keeping everybody on the mute. Right. So here, if I want to deploy one web application in the server, I need to take that application code as a jar or WAR. After taking that code as a jar or WAR, I need to set up the EC2 instances. I need a computers to run my application. Those computers we are going to set up by using EC2. Once EC2 instance is ready, in that EC2 instance, we need to install our Apache server. Apache is a web server. We need to install the server in the EC2 instance. Are you getting my point? First, to take the code as a jar or WAR file. Once your code is ready, then you set up the EC2 instance. In that EC2 instance, nothing but just one virtual computer. Now, in that EC2 instance, we need to install the server. We are installing Apache server as a web server to run our application. Set up the web server in the EC2 instances. Once your server is ready, then you need to deploy your application in the server. Deployment process you need to do. Once your application is deployed, you need to configure some security groups to access that application, to provide the public connectivity for that application. People should be able to access the application. For that, you need to configure security groups. If too much traffic is coming for the application, then you need to configure load balancer also for your application. If load is too much load is coming for your application, load is coming, going, then you need to go for auto scaling groups also. Like this, you have to set up your application to deploy in the cloud. Take the project as a jar ROR, then set up the EC2 instances, set up the servers, deploy the application in the server, configure the security group, set up the load balancer, then create the auto scaling group. Can I say this is deployment process of my application? Guys, can I say this is deployment process of my application? Come on, guys. Can I say this is deployment process of my application? Yes, we can say that this is deployment process of my application. Now, is it easy task or it is time-taking task? Is it easy or time-taking task? Easy or time-taking? Easy, but it takes some time now. It takes some time now. You have to set up the instances, you have to set up the servers, you have to deploy, you have to configure security group, you have to set up the load balancer, you have to create the auto scaling group. That means what we are doing here, we are preparing the environment to run the application. Instead of you are setting up all these things, can we ask AWS to provide the platform so that I can just give my code to run? Can we ask AWS just to give the platform so that I can run? I don't want to set up the instances. I don't want to set up the servers. I don't want to create the security group, load balancers, auto scaling group. I am not interested in doing all these things. I want AWS to do all these things for me. I will just take the code. I want to run it. I don't want to set up the server. I don't want to set up the security group. I don't want to set up the load balancers and auto scalings. I want a ready-made solution to deploy my application. That's where Elastic Beanstalk comes into picture. Guys, are you able to understand how to deploy the application in the cloud platform? Are you able to understand how to deploy the application in the cloud platform? If you want to deploy the application in the cloud platform, you need to take that code, you need to set up the machine, you need to set up the server, you need to set up the security group, you need to set up load balancer, you need to set up auto scaling group. Then you can deploy your application in the servers. It is a time-taking process. It is a time-taking process. Now, why we are doing all these steps? Can anyone answer? Why we are doing all these steps here? Srija, can you tell me why we are doing all these steps here? What is the purpose of these steps? Srija, can you tell me why we are doing all these steps?
To deploy application.
To deploy our application. Can I say that we are preparing a platform to run our application?
Yes.
Yes, we can say that we are preparing a platform to prepare our application.
Yes.
Yes, AWS is providing the infrastructure. Using the AWS infrastructure, we are preparing a platform to run our application. Now, instead of taking the infrastructure and creating the platform, can we ask the AWS to give the platform directly?
Yes.
Can we ask the AWS to give the platform directly?
Yes, sir.
Which service will provide the platform for us to run the application?
Elastic Beanstalk.
Elastic Beanstalk. Now tell me, what is the advantage if you go for Elastic Beanstalk?
It is work as fast.
We don't need to prepare the server.
You no need to set up the EC2, you no need to set up the server, no need to set up security group, no need of load balancer, no need of auto scaling group. Everything will be prepared by whom? Elastic Beanstalk. Then what is our responsibility? Just to give the code for the Elastic Beanstalk. You just give the code for the Elastic Beanstalk, then Beanstalk will prepare the platform to run your application. So things are automated or not. Now, can you please read these points? What is Elastic Beanstalk? Elastic Beanstalk is a platform within AWS that is used for deploying and scaling web applications. Elastic Beanstalk is one platform that is used to deploy and scale our web application. In simple terms, this platform as a service takes your application code and deploys it while provisioning the supporting architecture and compute resources required to run your code. So whatever the environment, what are the servers required, what is the infrastructure required, everything will be prepared by Elastic Beanstalk to run our applications. Elastic Beanstalk also fully manages the patching and security updates for those provisioned resources. Any security updates, any OS patchings that are required for our application will be taken care by Elastic Beanstalk. That means you just take the code and give it to Elastic Beanstalk. Then Elastic Beanstalk will prepare the environment to run your application. Can anyone tell me what is Elastic Beanstalk now? Can anyone tell me what is Elastic Beanstalk now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
It is a platform. It is a platform for which we can all the tasks which is.
Madam, your voice is completely breaking, madam. I can't hear anything. Can anyone tell me what is Elastic Beanstalk? Her voice is not coming properly. Guys, can anyone tell me what is Elastic Beanstalk?
Elastic Beanstalk is a platform as a service. It can automate our application, like which is if you want to manage one web application, it will automatically take our code and it will set up the infrastructure which is required to run our web application.
Right. Now, suppose if Elastic Beanstalk is not available, then what is the problem?
We
We
have
need to
We need to
manually
manually
configure the
set up
server.
everything, sir.
We need to set up the things
All the
manually. We need to set up the things manually. What are the servers are required? What are the load balancers are required? Everything we need to set up manually. Now, if I go for this Elastic Beanstalk, it will provide the platform. So do I need to bother about which servers are required to run my application?
No.
So for example, I want to deploy PHP application. Do we know which server is required to run the PHP? We don't know. Do we really need to bother about which server required for PHP if you go for Elastic Beanstalk?
No.
No.
Elastic Beanstalk will give the platform. Just you give the PHP code. Elastic Beanstalk will prepare the platform, will run your application. That is the beauty. Understand my point? Read it. Elastic Beanstalk is a platform within AWS that is used for deploying and scaling your applications. This Elastic Beanstalk is a platform as a service. They are providing the platform. Whatever the infrastructure required to run your application, Elastic Beanstalk will provide that. You no need to bother about anything related to infrastructure setup if you go for Beanstalk. You just give your code, then Beanstalk will prepare the environment to run your application in the AWS. Okay, right. Now, what is this? Why this Elastic Beanstalk? There are so many platform services available in the market. Out of all, Elastic Beanstalk is leading in the market. For Elastic Beanstalk, there is no separate charge, guys. But whatever the resources that you will use in the Elastic Beanstalk, for them it is going to charge. And Elastic Beanstalk will allow you to quickly deploy the application. Elastic Beanstalk will allow you to deploy your applications quickly. You no need to bother about anything related to infrastructure. You just give your code. Elastic Beanstalk is going to prepare the environment to run your application. Okay. If you go for Elastic Beanstalk will take care of the hosting infrastructure, coding language interpreter. That means your project is developed by using which language, that also will be taken care by Beanstalk. Operating system, security, HTTP, application layer, everything will be taken care by Elastic Beanstalk. All you need to worry about is writing your code. You just prepare the code, then Elastic Beanstalk will take care of all the infrastructure setup. Which machine we need, which operating system, which is server, which is security, what HTTP protocols are required. Everything will be taken care by Elastic Beanstalk. Okay. Now, coming to Elastic Beanstalk platforms. Sir, for which language projects Elastic Beanstalk is supporting? Is it supporting only for Java? Elastic Beanstalk supporting only for Java, or it is supporting for all the platforms?
All the platforms.
It
Maximum
is
platform.
maximum platforms it is supporting. If your application is Java, Node.js, PHP, Python, Ruby, .NET, Glassfish, Docker, Tomcat, any type of application you can run by using this Elastic Beanstalk platform. Now, what are the benefits of going for Elastic Beanstalk? What are the benefits of going for Elastic Beanstalk, guys?
Fast and simple.
Fast and simple. Fast and simple. Why it is fast? Do you need to set up anything? Do you need to set up anything?
No.
What do you need to do? Just upload your code. What do you need to do? Just upload your code. Just upload your code. If you upload the code, EBS will identify which platform is required for that. Developer productivity. So developer can write the code quickly. No need to bother about the infrastructure. Scaling the demand. If you want to increase the servers, you can increase. If you want to decrease the servers, you can decrease. You can scale on the demand basis. Control over the tools. What are the tools that it is using in the Elastic Beanstalk platform? You can control based on your requirement. Based on your requirement. Next one. When we are talking about Elastic Beanstalk, some terminology we need to understand. First one is application. Second one is application version. Third one is environment. Fourth one is environment types. And fifth one is environment health. First of all, can you tell me what is application? Can I say a project? Can I say a project?
Yes.
So application is nothing but a project. It contains several files. Code, source code will be available, images will be available, binaries will be available. All together is called as one application. Application will be available in the form of a jar file or WAR file. What is the meaning of application version?
One sprint.
Application now. Today I am deploying my application. I will make some changes and I want to deploy my application once again with the latest changes. Can I say version 1, version 2, version 3?
Yes.
For every new change, a new version of the application will come or not?
Yes.
Like that. Application versions will be available now. Last month we deployed our application. From the last 1 month, we have done some changes. Now we want to deploy one more version of the application. So every application will have multiple versions. Application means the source code of the project. Application versions means multiple versions will be available. For every change, we are going to create one new version of the application. Now, what is the meaning of environment? What is the meaning of environment? Whether it is a Java based application, or it is a .NET based application, or it is a Python application, or it is a PHP application. That is called as environment. So your application requires which environment? Your application is a Java based application, or your application is a .NET based application, your application is a Python based application. You have to tell the Beanstalk, hey Beanstalk, my application is a Java based. Please use the Java environment. Then it will prepare the Java environment to run your application. Suppose if your application is a PHP application, what you will tell to Beanstalk? Will you tell to Beanstalk? Now, if your application is a PHP application, you will tell to Beanstalk, hey Beanstalk, please prepare the PHP environment to run my code. This is my code, PHP code, run it. This is my Java code, you run it. This is my .NET code, you run it. Like that, we are going to select the environment. Now, what is the meaning of environment health? How your application is running? Is it running successfully? How the load is there on the application? Is the application able to handle the load properly or not? What is the CPU capacity, CPU usage? All the things we can monitor by using environment health. Application, application version, environment, environment types, and environment health. Application means the source code of the project. Application version means for every application, multiple versions will be created when there are changes in the application functionality. Environment, you want to deploy your application on the which environment? When you are deploying our application, you can go for two types of environments. One is a web server environment, another one is a worker environment. Currently, we are dealing with web server environment because I want to run my web application in the server. When you will go for a worker environment, whenever you are using queue concept in the AWS, there is a concept called queue concept, like Apache Kafka. My application will store the message to some queue, or my application will read the data from the queue. Then you will go for a worker environment. But currently we are dealing with web server environment. That means I want to deploy my web application. Now, what is environment health? It is going to check how our application is running in the environment. Is the health of the application is good or not good? That it is going to check. That is called environment health of the application. Is this clear for all of you? The core components of the Elastic Bean Stack.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
what is the meaning of environment tires?
Environment tier, how you want to run your application? Do you want to run your application with a web server, or you want to use a queue to run your application?
Okay, sir.
Now I'm running it. I want to run the Java application. Which tier we will use?
Web server environment.
Web server environment. We are good. Now my application want to use some queue to store the data like Apache Kafka. Then which environment we need? Worker environment. Worker environment. What is application? What is the meaning of application, guys? What is the meaning of application?
It's a project.
It's a project. Typically, when you create an application, you will place all the related assets like code, resource configuration templates, code versions, and required files in a folder. Beanstalk application is also a similar concept. It is the entity that holds all the related files, platform resources, and configuration information to support the application when you deploy your application via Elastic Beanstalk. Whatever the things that are required to run our application, all together is called as one application. Okay. When you create and deploy a new application or version, the application name will be displayed. That's fine. Application means one entity. What is the meaning of application versions? When you make the changes to your application, you will deploy the updated application via Elastic Beanstalk. Currently, one project is there, version 1. I made some changes to the project. Then I will deploy version 2. After version 2, I made some more changes, version 3. Like that, every application will have multiple versions. Next one, environment. What is the meaning of environment? The platform. Environment is nothing but what? The platform that is required to run our application. Environment types. How many environment types are available? 2. 2 types are available. What are the 2 types?
Web server and
Server environment.
Web server. When you will go for web server environment, when your application is receiving if your application want to provide the response for a HTTP request, then you will go for web server environment. When you will go for worker environment, when you want to process the request in the background to store the data to some queue concept, then you will go for worker environment. We are dealing with web application now. For web application, which tier is required? For web application, which tier is required? Web server tier is web server environment tier is required. What is environment health? Gray, green, yellow, red. Red means your environment is failed. Yellow means 1 or 2 checks it is failed. Red means most of the checks are failed. Yellow means 1 or 2 checks are failed. Green means your environment is healthy. Your environment is running successfully. Gray means still it is getting started. Environment health, gray means still it is getting started. Green means running successfully. Yellow means 1 or 2 recent checks got failed. Red means almost all the checks are failed. 3 or more recent checks are failed on your application. So you can monitor health of your application, how your application is running. Is it getting started or it is already started? Any checks are failed? Any checks are failed multiple times. That health also you can monitor for your application. That is called environment health. Now, how the Beanstalk is going to work? How the Beanstalk is going to work, guys? You create one application, then upload the application code, launch the environment, then manage the environment. Deploy the new version, manage the environment. Deploy the new version, manage the environment. Like this, it is going to work. Now, can we deploy one application by using Beanstalk now? Guys, theoretically, do you understand what is Beanstalk? People are not responding.
Yes, sir.
Theoretically, do you understand what is Beanstalk or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is the advantage of going for Beanstalk?
Quickly, we can deploy our web application or other type of application.
We can deploy our applications easily by using Elastic Beanstalk. Do you need to set up the infrastructure, or Beanstalk will set up the infrastructure?
Beanstalk
Beanstalk will set up the infrastructure. Now, if I want to deploy my web application by using Beanstalk, what should I have? Only code.
code.
Only what should we have? We should have only code. And what about the platform?
EBS.
Elastic Beanstalk is going to provide that. Now, can we go to EBS service, Elastic Beanstalk service now?
Yes.
Elastic Beanstalk. Run and manage the web applications.
Sir, it's not visible.
1 minute. Now, can you see my Elastic Beanstalk?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What are the 3 options available? Environments,
Application. changes.
environments, applications, and change history. Now, do we have any environments here?
Yes.
Do we have any environments here?
No.
Can we create one environment now?
Yes.
Yeah. Click on create new environment. It is asking which environment type you want. Web server or web worker.
Web server we want.
When we will go for web server?
When our application requires HTTPS response code.
If your application is dealing with HTTP request, then go for web server. Okay, guys, observe carefully. I have selected Elastic Beanstalk. Let me mute everybody. Some noise is coming. Now I have selected Elastic Beanstalk. In this Elastic Beanstalk, there is option to choose the environment, create the application, and change history. Choose the application, change the history, environment. There is no environment available. Create a new environment. When I'm creating the environment, it is asking select the environment. There are 2 types of environments are available. One is web server environment. Another one is worker environment. One is web server environment. Another one is worker environment. When to go for web server environment? When to go for worker environment? If your application dealing with a HTTP request, then go for a web server environment. If your application is dealing with some background logic to store the data to SQS queue, then go for worker. Currently, I want to deal with web applications, which will deal with HTTP request. So I'm going for web server. Click on select. Click on select. It is asking, give one application name. I'm giving my application name as first PHP app. I want to run one PHP application in this Beanstalk. PHP app. What it is asking now? Environment name, first PHP app. Domain name, I'm not giving anything. Let's leave it. Platform, managed platform. Platforms published and maintained by Elastic Beanstalk. Which platform you want from AWS now? Which platform you want from AWS now? Which project you want to run? PHP. Select the platform as a PHP. Application code. Do you have the sample code? Do you have the PHP project? Then select upload your code. If you have the code, then upload the PHP project. Currently, I don't have the PHP project. I'm going for sample application. I'm going for sample application. Create the environment. Now, it is going to set up the environment to run my PHP application, sample PHP application. Now, see what this Elastic Beanstalk is doing. See what this Elastic Beanstalk is doing. Steps in the background. You see that console. It will tell you what it is doing internally. It is going to tell you what it is doing internally to set up the PHP application in the AWS cloud. Now, can you see here? Create environment is starting using Elastic Beanstalk, S3 storage bucket for environment data, Environment health is a transition to pending. Created target group, create target group, created security group with this name. Whatever the things that you need to do manually, all the things are automated by using Beanstalk or not. Whatever the things that we used to do manually to run the application, all those things are automated now by using Elastic Beanstalk. That means I told to Elastic Beanstalk to run one sample PHP application. I told to Elastic Beanstalk to run one sample PHP application. It is running now. It is preparing the environment to run that sample PHP application. Once the PHP application is running successfully, then I will ask that Beanstalk to run my Java application also. Let's wait. We'll complete that Java also today. I want to run the Java application also by using Elastic Beanstalk. Now, can you see after the security group is created, what is this? Auto scaling is created or not? Auto scaling group is created or not? EC2 instance is launched or not? Waiting for EC2 to launch. Who is starting EC2 machine now? Who is creating EC2 machine now? Beanstalk. So the complete platform is automated or not? The complete platform preparation is automated or not? That is the beauty of Beanstalk. So whatever the infrastructure that we are setting up to prepare the platform, that can be automated by using Beanstalk. Beanstalk is a ready-made service to run your applications. You just give the code, then Beanstalk will prepare the platform to run your application. This is called platform as a service. This is called as platform as a service. Samjhe? This is called platform as a service. Let's wait till it completes the process. Created the CloudWatch alarm also. It created the CloudWatch alarm as well. Now go to environments. What is the status? What is the health of our application now? What is the health of our application now? Pending or completed? Pending. That means the platform is getting prepared. Now click on that application environment name. Click on that application environment name. Still it is preparing, creating the environment. This will take few minutes. This will take few minutes to run our application. URL. This is the URL of the application, guys. Still it is not ready. Still it is not ready because it is still getting prepared. This application is still getting prepared. Once the application is ready, then we can access that PHP application from the Elastic Beanstalk. Still it is not ready. 502 bad gateway. That means still it is under preparation. Still it is under preparation. Let's wait. Wait few more minutes so that our first PHP application will run using Elastic Beanstalk. What is the health now? What is the health now? Green. What is the meaning of green? Okay. Right. Now, can you access this URL? Is my PHP application ready or not? Is my PHP application is ready or not? Guys, check it. Are we able to run this PHP application by using Elastic Beanstalk? Congratulations. Your Elastic Beanstalk PHP application is now running on your own dedicated environment in the AWS cloud. Who prepared this environment to run my application? Who prepared this environment to run my application? Who prepared this environment to run my application? Elastic Beanstalk. Similarly, can we deploy one Java application? Can we deploy one Java application now? Java Spring Boot application? Come on, guys. Can we deploy one Java application now? Yes. Guys, Java application I have created as one jar file. I have Java application as a jar file, guys. Java application I have a jar file. I want to upload this jar file by using Elastic Beanstalk. Now observe. Can we create an environment for that application now? Create new environment. Which environment? Web server. Click on next. Application name Java REST API. Java REST API. Which platform? What is the application is developed by using which platform? Java. I want the Java platform. Do you want to go for sample application or you want to upload your code? Do you want to go for sample application or you want to upload your code? Upload the code. How the Java application will be uploaded? Jar file or WAR file. Where is that file? File available in the S3 or file available in the local? File available in the local or file available in the S3? File available in the local. Now choose that file. Applications. Applications. I have a jar. Upload the jar file. Upload the jar file. File uploaded successfully. Create the environment. Create the environment. Now it is creating the environment to run my application. Now it is creating the environment. How it will create? It will deploy my code. It will take EC2. It will install the server. Inside the server, it is going to deploy the project, security group, load balancer, auto scaling, everything it will prepare. Just wait. You just wait. You see, it is doing the things. You see that it is doing the things now. It will take some time because it has to prepare the environment. It will take some time because it will prepare the environment to run our application. It created the security group. Now it will launch EC2. Can we see the status of that? What is the status now? Gray, pending. It is in the pending state. It is preparing the environment. For PHP, I have used a sample application. Now for Java, I am uploading my Java jar file. I have uploaded my Java jar file. You guys also can upload that jar file. I will give you that jar file for you. Guys, I have given the jar file in the Telegram. I uploaded the jar file to the Telegram. That is the Java application. You can download that jar for your practice. You can download that jar for practice. Because some non-Java programming people are available. So for you, I have given the jar file. The people who are from Java background, you can create a REST API using Spring Boot and you can prepare a jar file. For non-IT people, I have given the jar file. Guys, did you receive the jar file in the Telegram? Did you receive the jar file in the Telegram? In our Telegram group, I have uploaded. Please confirm. Did you receive it or not? Confirm it in the group. Yes. The jar file belongs to which technology project? Jar file belongs to which technology project? Java. It is developed by using Spring Boot. Java technology developed by using Spring Boot. It is a REST API. Now still it is preparing the environment. Still it is preparing the environment. If the health becomes green, that means the application is running. Currently the health is warning. Loading the bin stack. You have instance to your environment. Still, environment is under preparation. It will take few more minutes. Wait. That status should become okay. Then only we can believe that our application is running. There is an issue. What is the status? What is the status, guys? Severe. Nginx, it is failing. Java REST API. .500 gateway. Okay, go to configurations. Software instances, capacity, security. Let me configure server port. Some 5000. I'm configuring some port. Apply. Saving the configuration changes. I changed the configuration, guys, for this project. I configured the port number as 5000. Now it is updating my environment. What I have done is I have opened my application. In this environment, there is a configuration concept. I opened that configuration. In that configuration, we have softwares like server port, M2 home, Gradle home and all. I clicked on this software's configuration. I added server port number as a 5000. Maven, M2 home, Gradle home, all these things are already available. I just added server port for my application for this environment. Now, what is the health of my application now? Is the health okay or not? Health is okay or not? Now this is the URL of my project. Application started. Application started. After configuring the server port, my application is started. After configuring the server port, my application started. Java REST API. Can you guys access my URL? Now here I can give /welcome also. I have configured URL pattern as /welcome. Welcome to Ashok IT. I can give the URL /greet also. It will give you good afternoon. Are you guys able to access my application or not? Are you guys able to access my application or not? Yes, we are able to access our application which is prepared by EBS. So what is the lab task for today? What is the EBS lab task? Create PHP environment. Create PHP environment and run sample PHP application. Now, second one. Now, I'm giving you lab task, guys. create PHP environment and run sample PHP application. What is the second step? Create Java environment and upload given jar file. Given jar file. Change server port in configuration section. Change server port in configuration section. Change server port in configuration section. Access, create PHP environment and run sample application. Test PHP application is accessible or not. EBS lab task 1. EBS lab task 1, you need to set up a PHP application there. Now, EBS Beanstalk lab task 1, Elastic Beanstalk lab task 1. Elastic Beanstalk lab task 1. Now, what is the second one? Elastic Beanstalk lab task 2. Elastic Beanstalk lab task 2. What is the lab task? Create the Java environment and upload the given jar file. Create the Java environment and upload the given jar file. Once you upload the jar file, is it working or not? Is it working or not? Not working directly. Change the server port. Go to environment. Go to environment. Configuration. Software. Then add server port. Then add server port as 5000. Access the application using URL. Test Java application is accessible or not using URL. Using URL. Are you able to understand these lab tasks for today? Now, how I have added the port, I will show you once again. Environments. Go to Java project. Go to configuration. Software editor. Then add environment properties. Go to environment configuration. Click on edit. Click on edit for software. Click on edit for software. Add server port as 5000 in environment properties. In environment properties. Test Java application is accessible or not by using URL. It should be accessible. This is lab task 1 and lab task 2 for Elastic Beanstalk. Can you guys work on this task before coming to tomorrow's session? Can you guys complete this task before coming to tomorrow's session? Easy or difficult? Guys, it is easy or it is difficult? Easy. We are just uploading our code. We are just uploading our code. We are just uploading our code. Then EBS is providing the platform to run our applications. We are just uploading our code. Then EBS providing the platform to run our application. I have started one PHP application by using Elastic Beanstalk. That is a sample PHP application provided by Beanstalk. I have taken one Java application in the form of a jar file. That jar file also I have uploaded and I have deployed my jar file by using Elastic Beanstalk. Jar file also I have deployed by using Elastic Beanstalk. Create the environment, upload given jar file. Go to environment, configuration, click on edit for software. Add server port as 5000 in the environment properties. Test the Java application is accessible or not using URL. It is accessible. It is accessible. This is EBS lab task. EBS lab task. I want everybody to complete this EBS lab task before coming to tomorrow. There is nothing more about EBS, guys. EBS is just a platform. You give the code, it will provide the platform to run your application. That's it. That's it. Clear? No, DevOps people will not write the code in the Beanstalk. Developers will give the code in the form of jar file. You just need to upload the jar file. Monali, as a developer, as a DevOps engineer, you will not write the code. Who will write the code? Who will write the code? Developers. Developers will give the code in the form of jar file. That jar file you will upload in the EBS. EBS will prepare the platform. This is easiest approach to deploy our applications. This is the easiest approach to deploy our applications. Clear? Good. Fine, guys. Thank you. Thank you. With this, I'm stopping for today. Please practice Elastic Beanstalk before coming to tomorrow's session. Core Java, create the environment. Jar file also I have shared. You can work on that EBS before coming to tomorrow. Thank you, guys. We'll see you in the next session.